Welcome back to the Dave Knows Comics live stream. I'm your host, David Lee. And here we go, discussion the WandaVision. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how everyone is enjoying themselves. Hope you're having fun. We'll give everybody a minute to file in. Those of you who are just joining me over on the Dave Knows Wrestling live stream, definitely knew this was coming, so I'm glad that you are joining me, crossing over to discuss the show. But again, we're going to let some other people who may not have been aware that this stream was starting, so we're going to let them jump on in as well. So, thank you for being here. Let's say hello to everyone. Hi there, True Sinister. Thank you for joining us today. Let's. I realized now I have something in the way. Hold on. Sorry. One of my. I gotta move some things around here. Thank you for joining me. So yeah. Let's discuss the WandaVision, the season finale. First of all, before we get into the big talk about the finale, let's start talking about one of the things, or some of the things that you've enjoyed leading into the show's finale. Because we haven't talked about it really on a live stream on this channel since episodes 1 and 2 when they first came out. So now that the whole thing is done, let's talk about where you were thinking, what you thought might have happened, what you were expecting throughout the entire series before we got to the finale. So give me some of your thoughts, give me some of your expectations. Let's hear some of those things of what you thought was going to happen. And in the meantime, hello to Ben Espinoza, hello to King Kaido, hello to Harry Flynn, hello to Timothy Mendoza. What up again? Because there was a lot of peace. Now, as I mentioned in the last time we talked about this on the live stream, I didn't particularly care for the show, episodes 1 and 2. I thought they were a complete and total waste of my time. I feel the same way about episode 3. In hindsight, now looking back on it, certain things were definitely unimportant information, like that beekeeper. People thought, oh, it was AIM because they kind of look like beekeepers. Such extreme speculation was abound. So the first 3 episodes I thought was a complete waste of my time. Um, True Sinister is saying what he wanted. The Raid Shadow Legends lover said, "Wait, where is the colorful jacket? What do you think this is?" Dave Knows Wrestling. It's over there. And yes, I guess I didn't change. I wanted Wanda to own Hayward. His comeuppance was not satisfying. That is fair. I will agree with that on True Sinister. But as the season started progressing, then we sort of start getting more of it. My problem with the entire series is it is a lot of just withholding information and just milking out the drama. And to me, slowly sprinkling out the plot doesn't make it good. And now I will go out and say that for the actual finale, it's just more of the same. 2 post-credit scenes that really don't tell you anything, but just lead you to think, whoa, where's this going? And it's like, that's not a story. That's not satisfying to me. I think the series is bogged down by this. And somewhere around the middle of the show, I also started getting the feeling that the things I want to happen will not happen. If we and this is a prototypical example, or this is a typical example. There he is. Hey there, Kings. King Sweep the Leg. Oh, why are you changing the name? Sweep. Um, um, yeah, so this is a classic example of something that modern fans will say is good, but I don't think it is like at all. And I will have like technical reasons for why I feel that way, but nevertheless, the masses will say it's good. Monica is too sympathetic to Wanda to the point where it seems like she's completely discounts what wrong Wanda. What? Just indulge me this one stream, Dave. Fine, sweep the leg. Um, I don't agree with that. I think Monica's sympathy towards Wanda is warranted, and it's ultimately a no harm, no foul situation, at least from a physical sense. Yeah, because and look, I understand those people were being held against their will, but I don't think Wanda knew that. I think once Wanda learned it, she undid it right away. So I think it's an understandable thing because she doesn't understand how her powers work. I'm kind of on Monica's side about that. Why, sweep? Tell him why. Yeah, tell him why. So I understand the point though. I get what you're saying that she did seem oddly sympathetic right off the bat, but I think they set that up well. I think they explained that. Hello, Horse Brittle. Been a while. Good to see you. Peace to you as well, Muhammad. Um, so yeah, going forward, it's just a lot of stuff that they don't pay off. My number, you know what so okay, fine. Now that everybody's here, or at least a lot of people are here, I'm just gonna flat out say it. I did not like the finale. I don't like the show. I definitely did not like the finale. I definitely don't like the show. And I didn't like the beginning either. So I'm not a fan of the series. Vision and Hayward already explained it to Wanda. When? True Sinister. I don't think they did. If they did, then maybe I'm mistaken, because a couple of those episodes in the middle I watched in like late at night, so maybe I'm missing something. Keep everything for myself. Oh, okay. Oh snap! You don't like WandaVision? Nope. Same here. Yeah, it's not good. This is a time where if I didn't, I feel like I feel like this is one of those things that a lot of people are going to say is really, really good, and it's like good by popular opinion of modern day of the modern senses, and fine, okay, that does count for something, but it's just one of those. There's always things where I say I'm like, oh crap, everyone's going to say this is good, and it's going to be something I don't like. There's some things that everybody likes that I like as well. Like most of the MCU, I love, and that's very popular. But every once in a while, there's something that's on a certain level, or the way it's done doesn't really jive with me. So I didn't miss anything for deciding not to watch the show. I don't think so. No, you're not my king. Also, Monica tried to explain it. She tried. Yeah, no, she pushed people away, but I don't think she knew it. I get you that she was given chances to explain it, but she pushed people away. But it's an understandable situation she was in. I don't think she knew it, that she was controlling people and that they were being tortured until Agatha told her. Watching WandaVision just felt like an obligation. Yeah, pretty much. That's why I did it. I'm waiting for Falcon and Winter Soldier. The Bucky and Papa Doc show? Yeah. Wanda and Vision were fighting when Vision was saying how wrong what Wanda was doing. Sure. No, you're right. Haywood, I don't remember him saying it, but Vision said it, but she never outright understood it. And Vision's also different because he's a construct of her mind. So that Vision, at least. So I don't think she knew. I mean, she's a fictional character, so whether she was or not, well, that depends on the writers. But still, what is this WWE made WandaVision finale? Right. I am still disappointed about the Pietro thing. Me too. That's the thing, is that how many things did they set up? They gave you this idea. My number one issue with this Luke Skywalker level cameo that they promised, or they said, and yeah, okay, maybe they were kidding, and Paul Bettany allegedly talking about, or I didn't see the actual interview, so I don't want to misquote him or anything like that, but the actor he's wanted to work with all his life, and it turns out it's himself. Like, that is unnecessarily trolling your audience. There's no reason to do that, and it led for disappointment. The Pietro thing, it wound up being nothing. Okay, so Iron Man 3 does it where you get the Mandarin, and it turns out he's an actor, and that's terrible, and it is. But then we're going to do in WandaVision. So if someone had a problem with that in Iron Man 3, but they don't have a problem with WandaVision doing it, that's kind of, because there was a headshot of Ralph Boner. So if you don't have an issue with that, that seems weird to me. So personally, I don't like that they set you up just to take you down, it's a swerve, bro. But still, nevertheless, why do it if you're not going to commit to it? Why tease the fans with it? And it's a lot of trolling, and it's not, and it kind of goes into Citizen Kane territory where the people will think what I want them to think. That's not good storytelling because you psyched out the audience, or you promised something, or you teased something, or you alluded to something and took it away from them and just never gave it to them. And they're like, hey, I never said I was giving you the X-Men. You thought that. I started getting the idea when you saw the flashback of Wanda's parents, because you see that is definitely not Magneto. You're like, well, maybe they could say that wasn't a true vision. Yeah, they could, but they weren't going to. Like, that's when I started realizing, I'm like, well, they're not going to do it, are they? They're not going to give us X-Men. They're not going to. Ian McKellen will not be the surprise cameo. We're not going to get. This is not real Quicksilver. Disney's all around disappointment. Well, I'm not a Disney fan, but I won't necessarily go that far. I can't really defend it, but and Norm, have I seen Superman versus Superman and Lois? No, I haven't. Agatha didn't seem all that villainous to me. No, The finale was a little hokey. The finale too, the fight scene and them flying around and all that hooply hula, that reminds me of The Matrix 3. Because I remember in the theater when you saw Agent Smith and Neo flying around space. It's one of those things that, okay, it sounds like a good idea, but then when you actually see it, it looks weird to me. I just can't take it seriously. DC won with Superman Lois over WandaVision. Didn't see it, but I can buy that, or I can believe that. I thought we were gonna get Doctor Strange. Yeah, Doctor Strange. Didn't get Doctor Strange. I didn't think it was gonna be Doctor. Once certain things wrapped up, I kind of started getting the impression it wasn't gonna be anybody. That they were just messing with us. But no Doctor Strange. Um, no Michael Fassbender. No Ian McKellen. No nothing. If that was the case, it's not like it's I'm not like super mad about it. Don't get me wrong. It's still a comic book movie, TV show. I'm not losing sleep over weird practice, or I just don't think it's the best practice to tease something that's not going to happen. Um, and you know what? To better explain it, I know this channel isn't this big, but I have a huge acquisition, so I'm not going to explain this right now. I'm really excited to show you guys this. So, to explain why this doesn't work, I'm going to give you from who should have been in the MCU. I'm going to turn the microphone over to legendary actor and the best X-Men ever, Hugh Jackman. He's not coming out. You see, that was a messed up thing to do. See, how did that make you feel? I hyped you up to think that, something's going to happen, and it turns out nothing happened. See, that's messed up. Don't do that to your audience. I just did that to show you why you shouldn't do it. Ian McKellen would have been awesome. Would have been awesome! Agatha begged for mercy, and Wanda still punished her, or when she did nothing. I don't know. And also, what was the deal with Wanda's hands getting all, like, worn and, like, is it that Wanda... I know they're not... But see, here's the problem. When Wanda looked old at the end, was it because she got the power taken away but then restored it? Or was she faking Agatha out? The problem is there's so much that they just don't explain. And the people who love it are just going to say, well, be patient. Be patient. The show's over. Well, they're going to eke it out. They're going to explain it over time. That's why she's reading the book. She's trying to learn all this stuff. But it's, as an audience, you have withheld information with me. And that's not good. Like... And it's okay if you withhold information if you're going to explain a story, if it's part of a plot. But really, if you stop to ask me, what is the plot of WandaVision? What have they figured out? What is the actual nuggets of information? How does this story arc? Emotionally, yes. Emotionally, Wanda does come to a new realization by the end of the show. And when she realized she was hurting people, she was willing to say goodbye to, Vision and Billy and Tommy. That's a big moment. But if they didn't withhold all this, if they didn't spend 3 episodes just playing pretend sitcom remake and gave us the plot in the beginning, this arc would have felt a little more earned. But we got rid of a third of the show for her having her major aha moment at the 9th and final episode. The arc would have worked better if we knew what the plot was. And also, the problem I have with the Agatha reveal is that eventually it was a very convenient big bad to throw at it. Wanda is the one hurting people. Wanda is the one holding people hostage. Wanda is the one who has things to process emotionally that she's not dealing with. Wanda is the bad guy, even if she didn't realize it. But that's a little heavy-handed for us. So let's just have this person be this random witch character just magically showed up in Wanda's fantasy world. How is she there? Oh, because she wanted to withdraw Wanda's magic. Okay, fine. I get the reasoning for it. So it's not like I don't understand the reasoning. But in terms of the structure of a plot, she was a easy scapegoat, an easy person to just throw in there to have Wanda fight someone at the end. Now, it would be hard to get a satisfying fight if there was no bad guy. Wanda fighting with herself. Well, we got Vision versus Vision. Wanda fighting another Wanda would be boring. Would be too much. Would be a little much. But the real issue is that Wanda should have been dealing with this more internally. But Marvel and the MCU has typically struggled with this. Like, with the Incredible Hulk TV show, it was Banner was the good guy, Hulk was the villain. And sometimes maybe even vice versa. But And that's, I believe, from what I understand, what some people wanted the Incredible Hulk movie to be more like, where it's more about the internal struggle between the two of them, where the villain is the Hulk and Banner is two sides of the same person. But that doesn't translate very easily to the MCU vibe, so they kind of don't do that. But that's where I'm at. Clicks and tweets. They should try grappling. Dave knows how to crush expectations. I don't. Disney does. Wanda bends reality. If she thinks it's real, it's real. But do they? But they don't do that well. It's like a bad episode. They never showed what happened to the Nope, they don't. But because they just withhold everything. So yeah, they don't show what happens with Vision. They don't show if Monica still has her powers. We're left to assume that she probably does. Wanda's reading this book, and then they hear the kids screaming, and okay, what does that mean? Fine, okay, maybe they'll present it. And this was supposed to tie into the multiverse of madness. I thought in the least Doctor Strange would show up and say, "I'll teach you," or she would go to, or she would disappear to Kamartaj, and then and have Doctor Strange teaching her there, or something like that. Something, but no, it's just all delaying with this information. I don't think this is good. Hey, take care, Muhammad. During evening, I'm too old to stay up late. Sorry to hear that. But they just withhold information from you, and that's it. And this is not good. It's like it gets you hooked to want to know more, and your natural inquisitiveness keeps you watching to find out. It's the reason why I kept watching, to just find out when are they going to answer these things. And the ultimate trick is, just like in the show Lost, hey, let the show end and don't even bother explaining this. Fine, maybe there's a season 2, but still. Dave, have you heard about the is being tapped to write a reboot? I'm curious if it'll be Valzad or I have heard about it, yeah, or some new character. I have heard about it, yes. I don't know who's gonna be behind it. It's DC, so my expectations are tempered. Agatha's already released the whole show. She was the one who told Wanda. Got a point there. Got a point. Vision was my least favorite Vision design. I prefer the one from the Avengers. See, actually, I preferred the... Because in the comics, yeah, he was sometimes all white, but there was other times he was more like an ivory color. I prefer that than the red and blue, red and green and yellow costume. I think the red, green, and yellow costume is stupid looking, and I cannot. I was very surprised that they committed to it in the MCU. I thought they were gonna not stick to it. It's like a Mazo. A Mazo is just a pink elf, a pink and green elf. But then in the DC animated universe, they made him just silver. I'm like, okay, good, and gold. Then Young Justice went ahead with the pink elf anyway. I was like, oh, okay. Neuron was a Jekyll and Hyde character. I was saying, I get, but they knew we would speculate. The whole thing, right, yes. The whole thing was about speculation, just disappointing. Yeah, the show was pretty disappointing. Yes, agreed, completely agreed. It's like, why tease us? And the other problem with teasing is that if you're going to... now we've closed the door on it. Because we know that Ralph is just an actor. Or at least the headshot implies that. Or we know he's not real Quicksilver. Or he's not from a multiverse. So not only did you not deliver it, that was something you teased, but now you're going further with it by making it that, oh, well, we'll never get Evan Peters Quicksilver as Quicksilver in the MCU. I mean, sure, they could make some stuff up in the future and eventually do it if they really, really wanted to, but it would make a lot less sense, and I think it's mostly a closed door. I like the scene Wanda put Agnes in a nightmare. Yeah, I mean, there's some cool scenes to it. The first appearance of the Vision in my comic book collection. I do too. Weird. This show is for Twitter. I think I know what you mean by that, and I'll agree. I'm not 100% sure, but fine. Sounds like I didn't miss much skimming the show. In my opinion, no, you did not. They should do a 90s Sabrina and had her walk into the closet and come in looking in different outfits and clothes from, I guess. Right. I feel like in the show, Quicksilver really didn't show his love and compassion to Wanda. Sure, he did to the kids as the funny uncle. Funny uncle. I almost called him the Funkle. But still, I feel he didn't do much to the story. Yeah, he didn't. He delayed it. He was just there. But I did like him being the cool uncle. I thought that was fun. It was probably the best episode of the show. If I had to pick. But yeah, they want to see you in the theater. Being said to Monica was corny, but was supposed to be clever. What? Oh, was it? I didn't even catch that. At least Vision can suddenly face through things. No, he faced before. Remember, he was able to face through the walls in Civil War, and she's like, Vision, we talked about this. This isn't. It's not a new power. He's done it before. Yeah, well, the one thing I'm noticing is I'm kind of glad because I thought I'd be alone on this one. I thought I'd be the guy who just hates the show and everybody else loves it and thinks I'm weird or just being, just being a stick in the mud or whatever. But no, it seems like I'm not alone on it. It seems like a lot of you guys get it. So, okay. At least I know I've got company. Because this is one of those shows, in nostalgia references and winks and nods and recreations of things alone aren't enough to get me to like something. I think for a lot of people it is, though. Though most people didn't like it. Albert loves it. Vision is Marvel's answer Martian Manhunter. Yes. Poor answer, but yes. I was with them up until this finale. Huh. Like I said, just not enough. Just not enough. But I wasn't looking forward to it in the beginning. From the get go of seeing the concept, it's going to be, oh, she's in a bunch of old TV shows. Okay, but that's like that kitschy, campy kind of thing that some people love. Some people love that kind of stuff. Not me. But some people truly, genuinely love that stuff. And if that's your bag, cool. If that's your deal, awesome. The Agatha, it was Agatha all along. Some people are like, oh, I love it. It's a song. It's like, it's a song. It's a campy, like, musical thing. Like, why is that good? I don't get it. And again, if you like it, that's awesome. But I don't understand how this is great. I don't get how that was a good. I don't get how that doesn't make me enjoy my comic book material more. It's like, oh, they revealed it with a catchy song. That's one, and I understand it in the context of the show. I get it. I get it. For you guys live, I'm pretty sure you're cool, but I feel like down the road there's going to be a commenters complaint. Well, obviously you don't understand it was a Monsters reference. No, I get that it was a Monsters reference. That's not my issue. I understand that. I don't get why that's good. It's like if somebody did a cover song of some campy song from the 50s or 60s. You're like, no, that's what it is. Yes, I know that's what it is. Doesn't make it good. That's how I feel. Hey, Dave. Hey, degenerate. Just hope there isn't a second season. I don't see how there could be, but yeah. I'll give it 1 point. The Agatha Harkness theme was catchy. Yeah, it's catchy, but I don't. It's not. It is not a make or break for a show for me. Thought Wanda was gonna reveal at the end it was all a dream. That classic TV trope, yeah, it could have. Appreciate a good nostalgia nod every once in a while, but not as a trend. Eventually, you got to give it some meat. There's got to be some weight behind it. That can't just be the thing alone that drives you. I'm not opposed to that. I appreciate the skill involved. I've mentioned this like on the wrestling channel. I've like recreated or I've tried to make things look like older shows or whatever like that. I appreciate that, and I do. It does take a lot of work, and it is fun. But it can't be the thing alone. I didn't just have a video of me, recreating some 1950s look and just sat there and stared at the camera. It was a gimmick, but it was tied to something. The content is something beyond just the visual. The show had a bad protagonist and antagonist. But the antagonist didn't really reveal herself until the end. Towards the end. The last act, if you will. I'm an old school kind of person. I want my catalyst, my problem, my bad guys all brought in the setup. And to slowly see how it reveals. There's old Hitchcock kind of mentality. How about this? What if we knew Agatha was the villain, right from the beginning, all along? What if we knew it from the start? But Wanda doesn't. And so the whole series, the whole 9 episodes go by, they're going to face off sooner or later, but Wanda thinks that that's her friend. Wouldn't that be more interesting? or if, like I said, it was just a pure internal struggle and it's Wanda really dealing with her own problems. Um, Ron says, Bucky and Papa Doc is supposed to deal with the race issues. I wonder if Isaiah Bradley will be introduced. I wonder that too, maybe. Read my last comment. Oh, sweep. Breaking all the rules here. Wouldn't it have made sense for Disney to use this show to introduce Magneto in the Marvel? Yeah, sure, of course it would have, but they didn't. Unless that guy was Magneto. But remember, in the comic books, Magneto isn't Wanda and Quicksilver's father anymore. See, Ron Hawthorne, for me, I like my MCU to be like in the comic books. The Marvel Universe is a perfect world. There are no race issues. What are the issues? They hate mutants. That's the allegory. So it's not a perfect world. Let me take that back. Maybe it's not a perfect world, but it's more perfect. It's a better version of our world because there's a fictional group of people that they hate instead. And all that has brought the rest of humanity closer. It's kind of like the Star Trek First Contact thing where they mention how since discovering warp speed and learning that humanity we're not alone in the universe, things like war and like class struggles go away because we all realize, oh crap, we're all just humans, and that kind of makes us chill. Yeah, this sucks if you're a mutant, but the existence of mutants made the rest of humanity go, oh, racism is dumb. There's mutants over here we can hate instead, and it kind of makes more sense to me. So I more prefer that. This entire show is for Twitter to get trending that Disney can go to investors. Ah, I see your point, Nathan Norman, and yes, I think you have a point there. What antagonist? There was no antagonist. Look, it was Agatha, but very late in the game, in the third act. It was just things happening that get more like the worst of Seinfeld. It was more like a. It was me, Austin, all along. No, the seeds were there. Harry predicted it. Like, they gave you enough meat to understand that Agatha was not. Something was up with Agatha. Like, I'm not gonna say they pulled it out of left. I'm not gonna say they. It's not like they. It's not like they wrote Agatha in as the plucky friend, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh crap, we need a fight at the end. Screw it. Let's just say it was Agatha." They knew it was Agatha from the beginning. My issue with it is that they didn't show you the audience, or they didn't use it into the plot because they were so heavy on just withholding information and backing off and not giving you anything. Like, that was the way the show worked. And that's been my problem with it, is that your plot could have been more rich, your character development could have been better, your suspense could have been more fulfilled, in my opinion, if they didn't just have if they didn't waste so much time, if they gave the audience more information instead of just withholding it. 3 episodes go by without the plot really even beginning. I mean, it's maddening to me. And Maura Remus says, I always hated that retcon. Magneto will always be Scarlet. Yeah, I agree. The reason there was hatred to mutants was a virus wasn't like a sentient virus. It made everyone hate mutants because it couldn't infect mutants. Okay. A thing I really wanted to see was Hulk and Quicksilver together. I don't know why, but I feel like it would be satisfying for me. Well, I hope it would be for you too. If it ever happens, but who knows now. He kept trying to hammer that Captain Marvel and Wanda could beat Thanos thing. I don't think they hammered it much. They did mention it, but in Marvel, Captain Marvel in the comic books, Carol Danvers in the comic books prior to recent years, her beating Thanos, and look, this is a tough call because some people want to claim that, you know, there's this thing with Dazzler, but we try not to. We try to ignore it. Also, here's the hardship of it. Thanos was not a big deal. Thanos was the helicopter rider. Thanos was not as big of a deal as he should have been in the comic books until recently. And only recently did he become the unstoppable Thanos that he was. But there was a period of time where Thanos was a joke. He shouldn't have been, but whatever. But yeah, so never forget Thanos Copter. Carol Danvers, for a period of time, was not even around because Rogue touched her. But, I have to say, if you were going to have a character called Captain Marvel, and your Marvel comics, I guess she should be the most powerful person in the whole universe. Yeah, that only makes good sense. Her name's Captain Marvel, and this is Marvel Comics. It's kind of the way things should go. Um, but in terms of the Scarlet Witch thing, in the comic books, and since her chaos magic has really been revealed, or in the comic books, yeah, she should be able to take Thanos. She can warp reality. Yeah, she should be able to fight Thanos. I also think it's weird though. They're using this huddled magic nonsense, but when they knew they were doing the ether, the red reality warping Infinity Stone, why wasn't that the source of Wanda's powers? And yeah, they revealed that she had powers beforehand. Is she immune? Is she not? Who knows? They're not going to explain it to you because they feel, and the Mind Stone just unlocked thing. Did Quicksilver have powers beforehand and then they just reacted? And oh, by the way, the two little kids playing Quicksilver, Wanda and Pietro when they were young, I mean, they did a fantastic job, but they don't look remotely like those guys. They look like completely different people. Not even close. Shazam is the only Captain Marvel I respect. Okay. Uh, they should have had Agatha doing things of camera like Firefly, so it's a hidden camera show and her manipulation wand. Well, and that's the other question too. It's like how much was Wanda being manipulated by Agatha? Like they didn't really go anywhere with anything. The only thing Carol Danvers ever did that was good was lying. Jeez, Nathan. Marvel felt like a troll movie. Captain Marvel. I don't hate Captain Marvel. I know a lot of people do. I think it's fine. I don't know why so many people hate it as much as they do. There's no Galactus. Doctor Doom would wreck Thanos. Yeah, like, right. Early on in Thanos' existence in the comic books, Doctor Doom was going to drop an elbow right on Thanos' forehead, and same thing with Galactus. But now, Thanos has been built up as being big, which I'm fine with. I don't have a problem with that. I always regard Galactus as a Marvel Comics big bad before the Thanos boom. Yeah. Um, Although I will say Doctor Doom is definitely somebody I considered as well. How funny would it be if they put together another Infinity Stone in the new Vision? I don't know. I kind of thought that was where they were going with it, but they just chose to end the show instead of answering questions. Black Widow should have had a film before Captain Marvel, given what happened to her. Yes and no. Captain Marvel, I think, was introduced too soon. Um, because with the whole setup of it being in the 90s and the scrolls, okay, like, is this going somewhere? And it's like, oh, it really had nothing to do with anything other than she is going to be fighting in not Infinity War, in Endgame. And she was only in Endgame for like 2 minutes. It's like there was no need to introduce Carol Danvers at that time. How about, I mean, I wouldn't have been opposed to Carol Danvers debuting in Endgame, but it wouldn't make any sense for people. Because just if the way the story progresses is that Carol Danvers just shows up and she goes, "Where's Thanos?" or whatever like that, or "This is a threat big enough I had to return to Earth. Where's Fury?" And everyone just says, and just like in the movies, like, "Who are you?" and they explain it, but then the audience wouldn't know who she is, so it would be confusing for us. But this kind of goes back to proving my point. Giving the audience the only necessary part of it is that if there was a Captain Marvel and Thanos was about to do this, Captain Marvel should show up. It's a universal threat. She should be around. But at the same hand, if she just magically shows up and the audience has no pretext, no like pretext to who she is, we're gonna be left in the dark. But that's kind of what I feel about the way they did WandaVision. Wanda have a Brock Lesnar like Reign of Destruction. I thought that was a possibility, but it's Marvel, it's DC. I mean, it's Marvel, it's Disney. They're gonna wrap it up with a happy ending. So is that, and this wasn't really a happy ending, but it's not gonna be as dark of an ending as that True Sinister. So as the DC Comics never officially renamed their Captain Marvel, which is they did, if I'm not mistaken. Do you know that Black Widow is coming out? I do not know when Black Widow is coming out now. Marvel can't get Doom right. No, they can't. Payspot Pete. Oh, jeez. Yeah, so ultimately, guys, I'm not a fan of the show. I get why people like it. As I said, if you like just references, nostalgia, just for nostalgia reference's sake, if you like campy, kitschy songs, if you just if that's all it takes to impress you, then yeah, I get it. And there are other things. And again, the show wasn't all bad. There were things they did well. A lot of the acting was the acting was very good. I'm not gonna say a lot of the acting. Let's say all the acting. I really did because Billy and Tommy, you do care about the kids. They did a good job of getting you to like really root for these kids and kind of forget the fact that they're not real and they are made up. Um, but even with that being said, their finale, their goodbye, they didn't really milk that for the drama. It could have because it might have been too heavy, but still, like I think we should have been sadder about it at the end. Um, but we had this optimistic hope that she's gonna figure out a way to bring them all back. Like how? Who knows? But that's there. So true, so true. You want one and two. So. I enjoyed watching the show, but they dropped the ball. Yeah, like the song, this show didn't impress me much. I wish someone would do a proper movie with Doom. Me too. They can't use the Captain Marvel IP on covers, or just so they just renamed them. Like I said, I believe they renamed them. Yeah. Those kids had practically zero development. I had no emotion for them. They didn't have enough development, but I I thought they did a good job. I wish there was more of it. But again, if they revealed the plot earlier, maybe we could have gotten to that point sooner. But because the kids probably should have been big enough where they're walking and talking by episode two. I think that would have given them more time. But it's the same thing with Quicksilver because I liked him as the fun uncle. I thought that was cool, and so they took and I will say pushing for no Nathan Norman. Um, do we sympathize with Wanda? I did, but I feel like I should have sympathized with her more, and I don't know why I didn't. Listen, okay. The Treads are formerly paced by Pete. It's a good change. Thanos Apocalypse is no joke. Apocalypse is no joke, but Thanos, Infinity Gauntlet, he's whooping that ass. Wanda and the twins did the Incredible pose. Yeah, the Incredibles pose. Totally thought of that myself. Snoop, we're gonna Snoop. What a line for a character that doesn't exist in the universe. Oh, okay. You guys have all made me feel better about this, knowing that I'm not alone and thinking the show is not that big of a deal. Um, Captain Thunder should have been Shazam's superhero name for right now. His name is Thunder, correct? What? No, that scene was hysterical. Shazam movie. I liked it. All right, so yeah, you guys have made me feel better about this whole decision. So at least now I know I share company with being disappointed in the show as a whole. But yeah, this, I thought the acting was very well done across the board. Across the board, I thought it was all well done. But yeah, ultimately disappointed was that the show needed more cameos. I never thought it was a big deal to begin with. Fair enough. Disney should do something like Sky High. Didn't Disney do Sky High? Anyway, all right. Well, that's going to do it for me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on the WandaVision show, and hopefully catch you next time. And as always,